It's 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stores for watching this Thursday, January 15. The DOJ says 4 personalities tagged in the flood control scandal are now state witnesses under the Witness Protection Program. These are former Public Works Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo, contractor Sally Santos, and former Public Works engineers Henry Alcantara and Gerard Opulencia. The DOJ says 2 other so-called BGC boys, Bryce Hernandez and JP Mendoza, did not qualify for the Witness Protection Program.
Meantime, the Interior Department is considering a 10 million peso reward for information leading to the arrest of businessman Atong Ang, and that's in connection with the missing Sabongeros case. DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla says the move may pressure Ang to surrender. 17 of the 18 suspects charged in the case have already been arrested, and Ang is the only one still at large.
Former Finance Chief and now Executive Secretary Ralph Recto and former PhilHealth President Emmanuel Ledesma Jr. have been sued over the transfer of PhilHealth's excess funds to the National Treasury in 2024. The complainants, filed by a group of doctors and lawyers, accused the two of technical malversation, graft, plunder, and grave misconduct over the 60 billion peso fund transfer. For his part, Recto maintains his innocence and says he acted in good faith under a congressional mandate.
And the United States will suspend immigrant visa processing for citizens of 75 countries starting January 21, although the Philippines is not included in that list. Philippine Ambassador to the U.S., Jose Manuel Babe Romualdez, confirmed that Filipinos are spared from the visa freeze, which applies only to immigrant visas for permanent residency. The U.S. State Department said the suspension is part of a review of immigration screening under the public charge provision amid a broader immigration crackdown.
And joining us today in spirit, Raul Llamas is again indisposed, but we have the principal. The truant is not here. Of course, we have the principal. And from the Philippine Star.
Of course, if the principal is here, the truant can't be here then, right?
Naman.
Kundi magulo yun.
Ami, nag-iiwasan pa itong dalawang to.
Oo nga eh. Oo nga, nag-iiwasan yata sila. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Happy Thursday.
Isang araw na lang.
Bukas pag nandiyan si
Isang
Ronald,
araw
wala
na lang
ako.
at masaya na si Ed ulit.
Hindi, nalulungot nga ako eh.
Tinan mo, Ami, we look like
Ay,
we're,
ano
bank tellers. Pareho pa kami ng
Always, oo nga eh. Di bali ako masaya ako.
Masaya ka
kasi may
tuloy.
bagyo eh. May bagyo si Ada.
Oy, yung bagyo, ingat kayo dahil mukhang sasagi yan malapit sa Bicol, and of course, you have Mayon now spewing some pyroclastic material out of slopes. So, yun, minsan talaga naglalahar dyan. Especially
Lilinawin ko lang yung state witness ba sila o witness protection lang?
Ano mang sabi doon? Under the Witness Protection Program.
Witness
they're not on the
so
same.
hindi siya state witness pa, no?
A reporter said it was state witness under the WPP, the Witness Protection Program. That's only for Roberto Bernardo, Henry
DOJ
Alcantara.
yan eh.
That's only for Roberto Bernardo, Henry Alcantara, and Gerard Opulencia, along with contractor Sally Santos. They're the ones that have been admitted as state witnesses, but Bryce Hernandez and JP Mendoza did not qualify for that program.
But Ami has a good point. Ami has a very good point.
Yeah.
Ang DOJ prerogative is only going as far as admitting you to the Witness Protection Program.
Yeah,
it's only the
WPP.
court that can admit you as a
As a
state
state witness.
Wala pa tayo
witness.
dun eh. So baka WPP pa lang sila. They're two different things altogether, although they overlap sometimes.
Unless they've already gotten the
Nag-overlap
court
sila.
order for it, which we don't know at this point. I know malabo, pero what if they had been working together with the courts?
To discharge you
Hindi,
first.
kailangan i-announce yun, no?
That means also that the court will have to arraign you first and then discharge you as a
state witness.
Kailangan
an
mag-plead
accused.
muna sila.
So that's further down the line pa. So just to qualify, that's a good point by Ami. Just to qualify, they've been admitted to the Witness Protection Program And we do not yet know if they will be taken in as state
As
witnesses.
they are applying to be state witness.
Yes.
Ganun
They
yan.
are two different things that sometimes overlap, but it is not automatic. So that's a
Saka
good
isa
part.
pa, yung reward. Yung reward for the arrest of now fugitive from justice, Atong Ang. Ang biruan
And-
o-offer ni Atong Ang, 1 billion, wag niyo ako arrestuhin.
And by the way, the other context to that story is they have also requested an Interpol red notice for Atong Ang
Yes.
in case he tries to flee the country. As of this point, authorities believe he is still in the Philippines, pero of course, there is always that chance he might try to flee.
Usually, their only basis for saying that is walang record na umalis, which is not naman ano.
Oo nga, oo
Never
nga.
a concrete
Wala rin naman record na
proof.
umalis si Harry Roque,
There you go.
right?
Or what's her name?
Alice
Go.
Alice Go.
Let's go.
Si Alice
Never
Go.
concrete proof that he never left the country, ba?
Exactly, but
Oo nga.
but he was still appearing in in public
When was
a
that?
few weeks ago.
When was that?
But then again,
But
that
then
was a
again, it
few
could have
weeks.
left yesterday.
A few weeks. That's also true. That's also very true. Pero in any case, yun nga, nag-apply na sila for Interpol red notice on him, and with the 10 million reward for any information that leads to his arrest. That's in pesos, by the
20
way.
million for not saying any information.
So now we have
Tumatang.
clarity. But going back to the WPP applications nitong mga public works officials or former deputy police officials, now it's clear to us kung bakit yung may qualifier kagad yung abogado ni Bryce Hernandez na what we had the other day with Camille Samonte, di ba? Camille came back to tell us no, he has not yet recanted, but ano sabi ni Camille?
Hindi ko alam.
It was it came from the lawyer.
Oh.
It came from the lawyer,
Oh,
and
the
that
lawyer
could
called
have
her
been a negotiating ploy. We don't know at this point. Pero
They were hedging.
they were hedging their
Ano pa yun?
bets. Oo, mukhang they were hedging their bets. Pero so far at this point, they have not recanted officially their testimonies
So baka yun ang dahilan kung bakit they were hedging kasi they were still hoping to
to strike a better deal
Oo.
with the with
now
DOJ.
the decision has been made. So we're trying to get the lawyer now to see if there's clarity now as to whether or not he will stand by his earlier testimonies or whether he will recant. Or
Pero
of course, we're talking
normally
about
kapag
Bryce.
ganyan kapag meron ng inaccept na related to this person, di ba? Medyo pareho yung trabaho nila Ibig sabihin, hindi na nila kailangan yung testimony
Yung iba.
nun.
Oo.
That
Especially
they can
if
get what they
one-
want from these persons who have been admitted na.
Especially if that person can reveal more than the others.
Oo.
Not to mention,
Kaya nga.
itong si Alcantara surrendered so far mga 181 million
Malaki
pesos
na.
in cash.
Oo, malaki na.
Si Bryce, I think, surrendered mga
The cars.
yeah.
I don't
Eh,
know how
mas
much they
maliit naman
amount.
yung ano sa kanya, di ba talaga? Talaga mas maliit yung ini-impute sa kanyang mga amounts.
Oo. Si Roberto Bernardo, by the way, I don't know. As when I went on vacation 3.5 weeks ago, wala pa siya nasa surrender, right?
I think he surrendered 40 million ba?
He has
Or
forfeited
7 million?
some amount?
Maliit lang.
Malit lang compared to
Maliit lang.
to Henry Alcantara, it's quite small.
Remember, he's a key player in this saga, right?
The other guy that we mentioned, si Gerard Opalencia, was the DPWH NCR director or district engineer. He was the regional district engineer of NCR. At malaki-laki yata yung kanyang pananagutan. Kaya siguro siya kinuha as a witness protection program.
Gerard Opulencia.
Oo. The name.
Very opulent, no?
I didn't say that. I just said the name.
Such an opulent name.
So there. So doon, that gives more clarity kung bakit some people acted the way they did or some people hedged on making announcements on whether they're recanting their testimonies or not. Today's decision as announced by the Witness Protection Program. Yun. And also, mind you, just as a reminder, people have that misconception that to be a WPP, to be accepted as a Witness Protection Program, that you have to be the least guilty. That is not true. You do not have to be the least guilty.
You just don't have to be the most guilty.
There you go.
The most guilty.
Two different things. Kasi the least guilty person may not know anything at all.
Yeah. Or they may have just accepted some money, but they don't know the whole story.
Wala siyang
Diba?
kalam-alam, wala kang makukuha sa kanya.
As long as you're not the most guilty, which tells us at this point na since inaccept sila as under the WPP, there are a lot of higher-ups, people more powerful than them that have profited off this, which we all know naman. Kaya lang the question at this point is who else is going to be named in this scandal, right?
Some requisites there for you to be accepted to the witness protection program. You have to be, you must not be the most guilty. Your testimony must be absolutely necessary to prove the case, and also your testimony must be corroborated by other evidence. And then you also have to sign a memorandum of agreement, which I think Alcantara has already done. May MOA yan as to what your responsibilities are as a witness.
Yun yung, there's been a few issues with that because remember, Ombudsman Remulla want them to restitution some of the
nila sa
money,
Senado.
which some other people are saying hindi naman prerequisite to becoming a state witness. But he wants it returned, some of these stolen assets, right? Cash and
which we
other
have
assets.
seen. At
So
least
baka yun.
181 million.
Sana.
At least 181 million from Alcantara. But from what I understand also, that's not the most that they expect to get from Alcantara. He's expected to return much more than 181 million. Nakapaggastos nga silang kalahating bilyon sa casino.
How many nights? In one night? 2 nights? Over a span of...
2 nights na.
Kaya nga yan sinasabi ko diyan kay Atong Ang, that's a gaming, 10 million yung reward mo, magkano naman yung offer niya para hindi siya arrestuhin.
Oo nga naman. And by the way,
yan ang biruan ngayon. Yan ang biruan ngayon.
At a press
Lumabas sa
conference,
istorya.
at a press conference, the DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla said he was armed and dangerous. He goes around daw with a firearm because he has a firearm license which has been revoked. Pero Remulla called the Atong Ang armed and dangerous, especially since he goes around with a cadre of bodyguards.
Marami siyang bodyguard. Marami siyang bodyguard.
Excuse me.
Kaya dumadami na yung mga fugitive from justice natin.
Si Ed is really scared of catching my virus. Hindi na ako contagious.
3 linggo na siya inuubo, hindi rin siya contagious.
Matagal talaga ang ubo ngayon,
Exactly. Thank you, Ami.
Kapani-paniwala, di ba? 3 linggo na itong ubuntu pero hindi na ako contagious. 3 linggo na.
Sabi,
Nakakatakot
hindi na
yun.
siya contagious. This is just a remnant.
Hindi ba first, siguro pinakamahaba na sa cough and cold, mga 7 days na contagious.
Teka lang,
contagious.
Baka, 7 days contagious, pero you know what? Baka we end up inadvertently spewing medical misinformation.
We're not giving information except your personal information.
Except my personal.
Hindi, naalala ko lang yung panahon ng COVID, di ba? Marami tayong mga briefing dito.
Yes. Okay, so,
Gaano katagal?
what else is happening? The US
May
has...
isa pa dun sa state witness, di ba, Ed? Na it doesn't necessarily mean na yung magi-state witness, kung papayagan ng korte, will be completely exonerated.
Yeah, that's the call of the court.
It's not necessarily, it could happen, but it's not necessarily the rule.
Yeah.
Yan.
The general rule is the Witness Protection Program, the WPP, the Witness Protection Program, gives protection to the witness.
Oo.
The state witness
Para
program
no harm can come to that witness at masira yung kaso. Yun ang dahilan naman nun.
the concept of state witness naman gives protection from prosecution.
Oo. Although not completely, not always.
Not always,
Pwedeng
that's the discretion of the court.
Oo.
So, yun.
I think your guest is already online.
Okay, we have to pivot at this point, and we're going to be talking about the DOE slapping fines on Solar Philippines. Let's bring in our first guest for the day. We're talking to Energy Secretary Sharon Garin. Welcome to Storycon, Secretary Garin. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon po.
Hi, Secretary.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for making time for us, even though I believe we reached out to you quite last minute. Anyways, Secretary, we're talking all about the fines that the DOE and the canceled contracts that the DOE has imposed on Solar Philippines,
Solar
Power
Philippines.
Power Plant Holding, sorry,
project.
SPPHI. But I wanted to take a step back first of all, and if you could give us the context behind the relationship between all three companies that are being linked to Congressman Leandro Levice, which are Solar Philippines, SPNEC, Solar Philippines New Energy Corporation, and Solar Para sa Bayan, which I believe is the one that held the congressional franchise. What do you know about these three companies?
As far as I know, Solar ng Bayan is actually the one holding the franchise. Now, Solar Philippines there's a holding company, and then there's a Solar Philippines, and na yun yung may hawak ng mga contracts, ng energy contracts. Now, most of these contracts have their own respective entities. No? Kada contract, kada area, kada power plant, merong company yan. Pero all these companies are under Solar Philippines, and 3 of those contracts are under Solar Philippines New Energy Company, which is the one in which they partner with the Meralco Group. No? So there's 3. Solar Philippines na lahat ng mga contracts niya, SPNEC, which is particular to the 3 contracts in which they have a partnership with MGen, and then the third one would be Solar ng Bayan. But all of this, the mother company of, as far as the ultimate beneficiary is concerned, there's one company and one almost 99% single proprietorship.
Which is Congressman Leandro Levice.
Correct, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, ma'am, if it is Solar Para sa Bayan or SPBC that has the contract itself or the franchise itself, kasi si Levice is claiming now that it's not been operational for so many years and that it's already defunct. We're not lawyers, but what does that mean? Is that the same as saying it's already been dissolved, or is it bankrupt, and therefore it would be a different juridical entity in itself that would not drag in the other companies? How does that work?
This is a congressional act, which is not an issuance of the Department of Energy. But based on my understanding as a former legislator and a lawyer, it's a franchise is given to you as a privilege or by the government, but that privilege comes with certain responsibilities and certain deliverables. No, kaya ka nagpa-franchise it actually gives you a certain exclusivity as far as some things are concerned. No? So, mere fact that you'll unilaterally declare that wala na yung franchise na yan, I don't think you can do that because that's basically a law. And you're saying na you can just decide when the law stops or not. So, I'm not sure where that is coming from. Pero nandiyan pa naman yung franchise.
Kasi there are those who say
it doesn't mean just because it's franchise just because it stopped operation doesn't mean that the ownership is gone also. Nandiyan pa rin yan. Siya pa rin may-ari.
Kasi there are those who argue, again, we're not lawyers, so but there are those who argue that they're legally distinct entities. I'm talking about yung Solar Para sa Bayan, yung Solar Philippines, which is Solar Philippine Power Project Holdings, which is I think the holding company, and yung SPNEC. So how does that go as far as liabilities are concerned if the franchise was given to Solar Para sa Bayan?
Yes, sir. I think that it's because the issues are different. When you're given a franchise, according to the Constitution, franchise or any contract, no, or any privilege given to you by the government, you should not be. You should divest. That's under the Constitution. Dapat walang public official that gets a franchise from government. Bago ka umupo, dapat wala na sa'yo yan. So the question is was there a proper divestment? That's what Ombudsman Remulla was saying, na may divestment ba? Because ultimately, if you look at the corporate structure, ang halos 99% is owned by a single person. So On the other hand, even if we separate the two, yung the privileges or the contract that were given by DOE is from government also, and it gives you privileges of like having a contract for 20 years na kami yung bibili ng electricity mo, and that's a privilege also that that it's under constitution also na may prohibition. So the sole or the single owner of Solar Philippines is the same person also. So it's a matter of divesting ang one of the major issues yan, kung if it was done or not.
Well, in the meantime, your department has fined some of Levista's companies. Medyo naguguluhan na kami kung ano yung mga kumpanya eh. Can you tell us more about it? That's for non-performance naman, di ba? In the delivery of the promised services. Can you tell us more about it?
Kung iano ko diyan sa iyo, tatlo yung company, no?
Yes.
SPNEC, may performance yan, yung nag-partnership sila. Actually, Meralco was a majority of the shares, like 80 or 90%. Is delivering this quarter na partial of the 3,500, the biggest in the world, no? So, hindi yan majority dyan si Congressman Leviste. But the second entity is Solar ng Bayan, which never delivered anything. The third entity is Solar Philippines, which is the holder of the multiple contracts. We have given Solar Philippines about 43 contracts over the years. And out of the 43 contracts, I think 32 have been terminated. Ang recent termination was 28 contracts. In this 28 contracts, dyan kami sabi na may 24 billion fine siya. Why? Why is there a cancellation? Kasi hindi gumagalaw. It's practically a zombie contract. It doesn't at the start when you get a contract, you commit and you put it in the contract. What's your work plan? How much will you spend? What are the permits that you will get? Ano yung deliverables mo? Kailan mo i-deliver electricity? So those steps, even bonds, you have to put up a bond. Or pay annual fees to DOE. Nothing of that has ever happened. So it's been years already. We canceled it December 23, 2025, because the deadline, the delivery date was supposed to be December 25, 2025, only 2 days before the expiration. So ang calculation namin, because these are 12,000 megawatts capacity that we are terminating. So based on the expired or non-renewed renewal of the bonds, contractual obligations, and the cost of project, and all the other fees that was agreed upon by contract, it's roughly about 24 billion pesos.
Did you ask Solar kung what's the reason for the non-performance? Kasi you're describing zombie contracts. Saan siya tumigil? Saka, did you ever ask them, bakit hindi nyo maituloy? Saka, or did they ever offer an explanation kung bakit hindi nila maituloy yung project?
There was never an explanation, no response to the communications of the Department of Energy. In fact, we do show cost orders. Again, we follow all the due process, and the last communication is the termination letter, which indicates how much are the dues. Pinadala to ng December pa, and then they're given 10 days to do a motion for reconsideration, which nobody filed. So it's, as far as the DOE is concerned, it's due and demandable already.
When you send these communications, Secretary, who receives them? Whose office receives these communications?
These are sent to Solar Philippines, ma'am. They're stipulated in the contract how to communicate with them. So we've sent this already.
Okay, so I guess they have staff, they have lawyers on hand, because I mean, there's no other person who's being linked to these entities, right? And as you said, they're almost 99% owned by a single proprietor, who is Congressman Leandro Leviste. So I'm guessing he's also deciding on all these issues. But when you say that hindi gumagalaw yung mga contracts, over how long a span of time was that? How long were they given to get these projects off the ground?
For example, they won in Gaia our auction. They won our auction back in 2019 ba yun? One is 2022 and then the other one, nahanap ko lang yung date.
Yes, the franchise was 2019, I think.
19 tsaka 22, no? May Gaia 1 and Gaia 2 kami. So they joined that and they're given about 5 years to comply. Actually, it only takes a year to do a solar project or even less, no? But unfortunately, kahit groundbreaking, wala pong nangyari. I mean, what choice do we have? What choice do we have? We can't continue with an expired a past due date, and then we cannot not terminate this contract because we got terminated actually 168. The Solar Philippines is only 28 contracts out of the 168. Lahat po, equal treatment yan. Whether you're Leviste or not, we fine you, we terminate your contract. We cannot give special treatment because it's Solar Philippines.
And even then, it sounds like you have been pretty lenient because you said it only takes roughly a year to get a solar project off the ground, and they were given about 5 years. Is that correct?
Actually, we are very lenient in a sense that if a developer tells us, oh, we have a problem with the property, we have a problem with NGCP, we allow extensions naman eh. And that's why we were waiting na sabihin nyo lang sa amin kung may problema kayo, but never communicated, never responded to our calls, and never renewed their bonds, in fact. So that's why lumobo yung dues nila. So the DOE is left with contracts that are not moving, but these contracts have been incorporated already in the Philippine Energy Plan kasi commitment yan eh. Now we have to redo the whole thing, and Philippine Energy Plan includes all the committed contracts and all the activities that we have so that we can make sure that we have enough supply every year and for the next 10 years. And we can predict when will the electricity rates go down. Now we have to redo all that and move some things a bit further kasi, yun nga, hindi ma-deliver, especially the GAIA contract. So, affected dito not just DOE or the national government or pride ko, no? It's the country that will suffer with this failure to perform because the prices won't go down because of the lack of supply, and because of the lack of supply, there will be possible problems with the sufficiency na baka mag-interruptions tayo over summer.
Ma'am,
Considering all that's happened, Secretary, are you planning to review your rules governing, for example, solar power, saka RE, renewable energy? Are you revising your rules already?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, last year we already fixed it because were already aware of this kind of behavior. It's not just Solar Philippines. There are others also that sit on the contracts at naghihintay lang ng highest bidder for their contracts, and they don't do anything for the project, but they just wait for somebody to buy it. Those are parang flipper lang, ano. We don't really like. People should not monetize a privilege given by government. So, ginawa namin, we made it stricter. You should have a possessory right over the area. You should have the clearance of SIS. Ang dami pong ni-require performance bond, required lahat po learning from the past parang heartaches that we have. So, inayos-ayos namin yan. And now we're also changing the contracts, we're revising the contracts na if you fail or you have a misdemeanor, for example, then you'll be blacklisted in DOE. So we are changing, and I think it's evolving pa rin. We'll have more changes in the future.
Ma'am, I apologize. I have to admit I got confused kasi with all the companies and they all begin with solar. So now, I imagine a lot of people also got confused doon sa kung para saan yung fine o kung ano yung finine na kumpanya. Ako, for example, I had the impression earlier that yung 24 billion fine was for the failure of the solar para sa bayan to deliver dun sa franchise niya. So it turns out that it's not that, it's the mother company that had been granted 43 contracts I suppose outside of the franchise, no? That's not part of the franchise. Yung 43 contracts, 32 have been terminated, and so for that, 24 billion in fines dapat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I actually, the same case as me, no? At the start, I was getting confused, and now, finally, after a month, I finally understood. Separate siya. So, ang fine is on the Solar Philippines.
Yes, ma'am.
Ang Solar ng Bayan doesn't have any contracts, nor does it have any activity. So, ang connect lang nito is the ultimate beneficiary, but they are separate separate entities po, sir. So may pangatlo pa, yun yung part of the contracts that they separated and turned into a company so that they can work with other people.
Ma'am, so iba pa problema yung failure of solar para sa bayan to generate any activity at all. Is that correct? So that's going to be a different set of problems and a different set of fines altogether.
Yes, sir. That's for Congress to determine. Kasi Congress was the one that gave them the franchise. So it's Congress that will determine if there was any violation or such inaction is tantamount to violation already. So maraming provisions po yung na kung anong klaseng project ang dapat gawin. At supposed to be given areas where they should energize far-flung areas, just to simplify it, no? So far as wala po sa DOE na dumaan na project na solar para sa bayan.
Okay.
So when Levise argues that yung solar para sa bayan is no longer operational and is therefore already practically defunct, that does not exactly respond to your fine because it's a different set of contracts.
Okay.
No. Yeah. That's totally different. That's a different set of liabilities, if ever, no?
Okay.
Far as DO is concerned, eto po sa mga kontrata kami. So, marami kasi, there's so much corporate planning that was done here, but sa structure nila.
Okay, let us recap for the benefit of our viewers. 3 companies. Solar Philippines, the mother company, Solar SPNEC, Solar Philippines New Energy Corporation, and Solar para sa Bayan. Solar Philippines is the one that was fined 24 billion and had its 43 contracts canceled because hindi gumagalaw. They have never delivered anything. Now, Solar Philippines New Energy Corporation, ito yung binenta sa Meralco Group, and it is performing. It's going to be delivering about 3,500 megawatts soon. The other problem is Solar para sa Bayan, which never delivered anything, does not have any contracts, does not have any activity. However, this is the one that holds the franchise. And Congressman Leandro Leviste says this entity, Solar para sa Bayan, has been dissolved. Kaya lang, mukhang hindi pina-approve sa Congress, which goes against its franchise.
And ultimately, all these 3 are owned by one individual,
which is Congressman Leviste. You know what else is curious to me, Secretary Garin? Itong Solar para sa Bayan, it was only granted a 25-year franchise in July of 2019. July 2019, 25 years, which is a very long franchise. At a recent TV interview, Congressman Leviste said it's been defunct, it's been dissolved for a few years now, roughly 4 years.
Oh.
So if it was 4 years from now, let's say 2021, 2022, it was dissolved 2 years after he won the franchise. 2 to 3 years, roughly. Right? So I'm just approximating here based on his answers and based on what we know about Solar para sa Bayan. Does that strike you as off?
It's not for him to determine when the franchise ends, di ba?
Hindi. The fact that he closed it down shortly after.
It is strange, but you ask for the franchise and then not do anything. It's kind of strange. I don't know what happened, really. I mean, I get confused also. What's the motivation behind all this defunct franchise, defunct contracts. But we really, it's unfortunate lang na the government believed in his promises, so affected tayo lahat. But I don't know, it's kind of like off for me na hayaan mo na after 1 year yung franchise na hiningi mo. So I don't know. Maybe he can explain why.
So, Secretary, linawin ko ulit, yung Solar Philippines, yung operations niya didn't require a franchise.
No, ma'am. They just needed the contract from DOE.
Okay. So, yun yung mga terminate ninyo.
Correct, ma'am.
And now covered by the fines.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Those are, actually, I would like to, it's what we canceled are 20, no, total is 163 contracts.
Yes.
Terminate namin for the last 2 years. And,
For non-performance.
For non-performance. But what's with Solar Philippines is 28 contracts. The 163 contracts is equivalent to 17,900 megawatts.
Yeah.
Ang contracts na 28 contracts ng Solar Philippines is equivalent to 11,427 megawatts. Roughly 64% of the total terminated contracts.
Oh dear. How bad is that for our electricity requirements?
Oo nga.
Dahil kasama mo yan sa projection na eh.
Yeah, it's not good, but we'll reach our targets because we have foreseen this and we have plans to make up for the terminated contracts. But what I want to lang kasi kaya namin to catch up. But it's just like a signaling lang na we don't want investors like this in our country. Na yung mag-commit ka that you'll deliver to the people this number of megawatts tapos wala kang gagawin. We don't want that. We don't want flippers and use the DOE's contracts for other purposes other than building power plants. Kailangan legitimate and serious investors that will commit to their delivery and deliver it on time.
Pero wala kayong specific prohibition dyan sa flipping. Kasi baka yun nasabihin ng abogado eh.
Well, for us kasi, we have the how to avoid flipping. It's not really a crime by itself,
Yes.
But what we're trying is we have put stricter measures on assignment of contracts. Ngayon lang po yan, mga last 2 years lang namin inayos yung mga and we're still developing it. Pero nandyan na yan po sa mga sa IRR or sa regulations ng DOE that when you flip there are certain conditions na hindi lang basta-basta pwede mong ilipat. So we've addressed that recently na lang, not before. Not by the time that some of these people started flipping.
Just to come back to the point about the energy targets, based on the Philippine Energy Plan 2023 to 2050, we made a huge commitment for RE mix. The target was to make RE 35% of the power mix by 2030, which is 4 years from now, and 50% by 2040. So yung more than 11,000 megawatts that were canceled, that was due to the underperformance of Leandro Levista's companies. That's not going to affect that target at all?
It will affect the target if we don't do anything to catch up. Kung ganyan lang, it's already part of the plan. But now, we realized from last year pa lang na not to expect too much from this contract. So, we're preparing, we'll do more green energy auctions, do more activities that we will have more renewable energy. And I'm quite confident kasi ngayon 25% na tayo. By 2030, I think I'm quite confident that we'll reach our target at 35% kasi there's a solar rooftop, green energy auction, and all the other auctions that we will do. We planned it out for this year and the next few years para mag-catch up tayo ng 2030.
Ma'am, you do realize that Congressman Lebiste has been implying this is all political. I mean, he has said in 1 or 2 interviews na this all started coming out when he started talking about the Cabral files.
Last year pa lang nag-cancel na kami nag-terminate na kami ng iba niyang contracts. In 2024, we terminated how many? 15 of his contracts already. There was no Cabral files back then. We find them back then also. Even before that, this is a regular activity that DOE does, and it's our job to regulate all these stakeholders because yes, we give them the contracts, but they'll earn from this transaction anyway, diba? We give them 20 years contract that somebody will buy your electricity, so they're assured of a 20-year stream of income. So kaya kami nagiging strict na ngayon, and what does it mean? We don't terminate his contracts because he has Cabral files. I think that's more political. Hindi to. Every end of year we do this, and I think it's an unfair statement to say that kasi you're telling us not to do what our mandate is.
Ma'am, balikan lang sinabi niyo. You said kasi he's been fined. How much was he fined in 2024?
Total na yan, ang 24 billion of all the contracts over the years that we have terminated.
Okay. But how many contracts were canceled in 2024? I'm
24, in Solar Philippines only?
Yes.
Yeah.
15.
You said 15.
15. Okay, sorry, I missed that.
Those numbers, ma'am, kasi you
so
said...
yung sa 15, magkano yung fine niya? Doon
Hindi
sa
ko pa,
kinansel na 15.
it's not here kasi total ang nabigay sa akin eh. We're actually collating everything. It's just that medyo manual yung mga ano namin dito eh. So we're trying to collate everything because it's not just the Solar Philippines we're calculating right now. It's also the other contracts, 168 actually. So we can give that to you once we have that. Kung ilan yung total segregated by year. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, you said earlier kasi you gave Solar Philippines 43 contracts in total, and then the recent terminations were 28 contracts. So I suppose 28 plus 15 is 43. So I suppose by that you mean all 43 contracts with Solar Philippines have been terminated?
Meron pang isa.
Na hindi pa terminated.
Kasi ongoing termination pa.
Akala ko natuloy kasi.
Isa, pero maliit na lang yan. Maliit na lang yan. But,
so basically all. You're saying basically all.
We give the 32 is finished already. There's another one that we are still reviewing kasi actually it's terminated already, but they want to ano tawag dito? Assign or transfer, which makes us confused kasi it's practically terminated, but you want to transfer, you don't have any. So we're just preparing for the answer for that. But the rest, 32, and then there's 7 that he delivered. There's 3 that's been given to SP NEC, no? Yung Terra Solar ng MGen. So ang 7 na yan, yun yung nag-deliver. Pero that's about 11 megawatts, I think. Very, very small out of the 12,000 that was promised.
Secretary, all of this begs the question how someone so young was able to corner all of these contracts, so 168 contracts in total. He won a 25-year franchise fairly quickly. I remember this during the Duterte administration days when former Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi was a huge advocate of Leandro Leviste. They showed up to his inauguration, to his what do you call that? The inauguration of his solar farms. Even President Duterte himself showed up one time. If I recall correctly, it was the Batangas solar farm inauguration. And then yun nga, si former Secretary Cusi lobbied very hard for Leandro Leviste to win this congressional franchise. Could you give us any context at all as to how all of this could have happened? How does someone with very little track record in renewable energy win this many contracts?
How DOE does it, we do technical, legal, and financial evaluation every application. And apparently he passed all that, no? And I think they presented the documents naman properly for them to pass. So if you go contract to contract, pumapasa. Pero 43 contracts in total, and at the end pala hindi naman mapapa-deliver. Then we wonder why. I'm not sure really. I don't know how that happened. That's far before my time. But I guess it was a promising company with a promising owner, no? The ideas were novel ideas, and the country wanted more renewable energy, so the appetite was there. Unfortunately, things happened. I'm not sure after the franchise, nothing moved. So I'm not sure. I cannot explain it to you, but yes, it's not. It shouldn't. It's not it's quite unusual for him to get 43 contracts.
But maybe help us understand, how difficult is it to win one of these contracts? Because I imagine also that there's not a shortage of foreign investors that want to get in. There are so many countries that are always talking about investing in renewable energy here. The Dutch companies, the Danish companies, Australian companies, all of these. But give us a sense of how difficult it is to win even one contract.
Galing-galing nga ng Pilipinas, pinag-aagawan tayo. Ang dami-dami nating investors. 85% of investments is for renewable energy in the Philippines. Trillions ang pinapasok ng renewable energy. It's quite complicated because you have to prove for financial, we compute your ratios, your financial ratios. We check your work plan if it's technically sound, and then also your legal capacity. We check everything naman eh. So I guess they knew how to apply, ano. But it's not that easy kasi you have to have the technical, financial, and legal capacity. So another step that they did also was to join our green energy auction, which is far more stronger commitment to deliver. But they qualified also, and they won the bet for the one of the lowest prices. So that's why we're tama yung question kanina na what are the policies that we put in place to avoid things like that to happen? And we did that couple of years back lang kasi yung contract dati naibigay.
Will you be inviting more foreign investors? Kasi to Regis point, no, sinabi sa akin dati ng mga Chinese officials, they brought in a large delegation here. Not during your time, large delegation of Chinese investors in solar. Nagsialis daw na hirap daw sila dun sa mga requirements na binigay sa kanila. They just gave up daw.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we're automated now for our submission. So we're one of the most efficient once you apply kasi we're given 30 days to approve or disapprove. So otherwise, it's deemed approved. No? So as to that, that's why Philippines was named like one of the most attractive, second most attractive in the world for any renewable energy investments because of all these changes that we have done. Kaya dumami na yung mga investors natin. One of the highest points of the Philippines in that evaluation by Bloomberg was because the policies were well done. No? Back in the day of Secretary Popolotilla, inayos niya yung entry of foreign investors and the automation of the application. So I'm quite proud of that. No? Hindi ko ginawa yan. I'm just reaping the benefits of that. But maayos yung pagkakagawa ng processing ng renewable energy contracts here. So hopefully we get more because we have more areas available now because of the termination of the contracts. We have like 17,000 hectares now available kasi na-cancel yung 17,000 megawatts. So we want more investors, and but it's good business to have be in utility in the Philippines, but we only want investors that are legitimate, not flippers, and that will deliver talaga.
So
is demand for solar growing? Yung demand for solar, is it growing?
Yes, ma'am.
Kasi marami kong kilala gusto gumamit ng solar roofing, for example, yung medyo accessible sa mga ordinaryong tao.
Reklamo sa solar rooftop. Kasi
Mahal-mahal daw.
ang tagal ng net metering process, di ba? Parang 6 na buwan tsaka ka makakuha ng approval.
Really?
So we fixed that, and we're rolling out by next month or in a few weeks simplified way to apply for net metering para mas madali na ang application, because that was the directive of the president during SONA, that he himself, the president, when they applied for net metering with, I'm not sure if was it Meralco or their co-op in Ilocos, it took them more than 6 months to get the approval. So we're fixing that. We fixed that already with the help of DILG, LGUs, and all the other agencies concerned. So we're trying that, and because tama po, we need more solar rooftops. And rooftop solar. We need more rooftop solar. Kasi konti pa rin eh. Konti pa rin ang may rooftop solar. But we need more of that so that we can have greener energy.
That's that's not something anyone can contest. But I looked it up, Secretary Garin, in August 2017. So I was correct. It was the Batangas solar panel factory that former President Rodrigo Duterte toured, and he was toured around by no less than Congressman Leandro Leviste, who at that time, I estimate, would have been around 24, 25. That's what I mean by a lack of a track record. Here's someone very young who just set up this company, and within a few short years wins 168 contracts. That's surprising to me.
43 lang, ma'am.
168 in total, correct. 43 contracts, which are still a lot. As you said, you guys put every would-be investor through, you make them jump through hoops, you put them through the eye of the needle, and here's someone holding 43 contracts and have been unable to deliver the vast majority of them. So that's very curious to me.
Sayang, no? Sayang.
Sayang, and hopefully, there's clearly loopholes in the system here. Right?
Yes,
how do we ensure that this doesn't happen again? That someone doesn't come along and...
We've been proactive in that sense. We've changed the rules. I'm quite sure that there will be less and less with the new rules that we have set since last year pa. So we overhauled our guidelines last year because of these problems. So hopefully it gets better. But with this controversy being the front page, I think there will be less attempts kasi they know what they will get if they don't perform.
But if he's been fined as early as 2024, has he been made to pay already any amount?
We do demand letters, but we are ignored.
Because that's more than a year ago already.
So there's no, hindi pa naman expiring yung right of DOE to claim. But this time we have decided now we have to talk to the Solgen and the DOJ or all the enforcement agencies para po makollect yan. Kasi true enough, we can just write letters, but if we don't collect, there's no, hindi siya
Mahirap maningil.
So it will have to go to the courts? Yung sinisigil nyo? It might
not
have
only
to go
for
to the
him,
court?
but all the others that we terminated. Yes, we are willing to go to court because this cannot go on without consequence. There has to be a consequence to this because it's the suffering that is caused to our people, no, on electricity rates and the supply. Medyo sobrang malaki yan eh. Hindi yan contractual violation lang eh. It's the country that's involved in this because of the magnitude of the contracts.
So we're not just looking to recover the fines, to get the fines paid off, but also potentially criminal liability? Is there one here?
Well, I will defer to the Department of Justice or Solgen on how to approach this because DOE will be the complainant if ever. But how to evaluate the case, we will leave it to the Department of Justice.
Okay, fair enough. And we will leave the conversation there. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Energy Secretary Sharon Garin. And that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining Storycon. I'm Ipa Mintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Kapatid, we are one news, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.